Welcome back to Disco Elysium. It's going to be a very short one tonight. At least of this, because later on, Dak's going to be joining me and we're going to be finishing up Ace Attorney, but I figured I could probably get some stuff done in like an hour or so. I'm realizing I probably should have waited to send Kim off until it was already like close to the end of the day. And I was just sort of fed up with all the failed checks yesterday, and I rushed off the body and everything. I maybe should have kept it one more day and tried to get those boots. I've made some mistakes. But now I'm going to try and make progress. So I think the biggest thing I can do right now is I can go to Everett and tell him I did the stuff there at that one apartment. I don't think there's any other big thing I could do. I could try and find a sad song. Ask around about the tattoos. There's not too much else I can do. There's a lot more people here now. Right, that was the other thing. I probably should have kept Kim around because the union's here. I need to talk to them. Okay, I don't need to go that way. Here is where I need to go. So it might be a mistake talking to Everett without him around. But why not? What's the worst that could happen? How do I get down there?
This is the Night Watchman's booth. The name on the door reads, René Arnaud.
Why not have a seat and
The
rest?
chair is not as austere as the rest of the booth. A thin grey pillow is attached to the seat, secured to the stiles by black ribbons.
Just breathe deep.
Stale air floods through your nostrils. Not a single mote of dust floats inside your lungs, though. The inside of the booth is immaculate.
Let's search for a little something
The
something.
drawers are empty, save for old timesheets and receipts. One small box, however, does hold some cheap painkillers. They are slightly out of date.
Do you mean take them as in put them in my inventory, or take them as in take them? What are the side effects?
Oh boy, where to start? Elevated risk of dementia, mini strokes, Prophet's disease, sudden death, hair death, erectile malfunction, critical flatulence, watery blood, black mucus,
Go on.
uncontrollable weeping,
Okay.
increased sensitivity to La Opera,
Okay.
inoperable joint disorder,
Okay.
total spinal collapse.
Okay.
Maybe this was a bad idea.
Maybe I don't take the painkillers.
You stand and exit the booth.
I feel like that may be the wisest option. Is there any other way to go around here besides just straight to the end?
You're back before the cargo container. Its drawer has not lessened since you were last here. If anything, it seems to have grown slightly. The container door appears unmoved by your attempt at flattery. A tough nut to crack for sure, but the strongest containers often have the softest hearts.
Come on, don't shut me out, let me
The
in.
door does not respond to your advances. Is it possible that it seems somehow more closed than before?
I don't think I'm getting that 3%. I think I leave it for now. Also, I have no way to up my morale. I'm sure that's gonna be fine. Hey, do you have anything new?
Oh, hey, mister. I knew you'd be back to talk with old Leo here. Yes, I did. It's like Lady Larice said when she opened a bathhouse in the basement of my apartment building. They can only get so far before they're aching to get back. And lots of folk really did keep coming back.
I had some questions for you.
No trouble at all, mister. No trouble at all. It's like that old saying goes, wisdom withers if not shared. And old Leo is always up for sharing. Oh yes, born and raised in Arish, mister. Mum had to leave my dad after he got a bit violent. Took us here to the new world. I was about 10 then, too old to lose my accent then. People say us Ubis are up to all sorts of trouble with sheep and other animals and whatnot. I just want you to know there was never any of that where I come from. No sir. Yes, everybody needs a job, and this is mine. I'm Leonard, by the way, Leonard Bellick, but everyone calls me Leo. I'm like Mr. Everett's right-hand man when Mr. Edgar is out of town, and Mr. Edgar's right-hand man when Mr. Everett is away. Actually, Miss Beaufort is the right-hand man, but she's a lady.
Who's Miss Beaufort?
That's
a new name.
Lady with a skin like those Douai Sucre candy bars my missus likes so much. Them are real nice to suckle on once the dinner is done and me and the missus sit down beside the radio. But I can't listen to the radio all the time. There's so much to do around here and I'm always busy keeping things running here. Yes I am, yes I am. Oh, Lizzie, she is a real sharp tool. Mr. Everett put her through some fancy school and everything, east of the river. 4 years she was gone, and when she came back, she was all fancy and lawyerly. But she's a real nice girl. Grew up in this here neighborhood, knows everybody and gets along with everyone. Real pillar of the community one day, I'm sure.
For a fraction of a second, there's sadness in his eyes.
If me missus and me was to have a child, I'd be real happy if she turned out like her. But she can't have kids. Dr. Lemaitre said so, and she knows about such things. Been a doctor for almost 50 years she has.
You're doing good work, Leo.
Well, thanks a lot. Coming from you, it means a lot, really. Sometimes I feel some of the guys don't really get how much I bust my ass for them here. But you guys are alright.
The white rectangle on your clothes might not mean an awful lot in Martinez, but the recognition from an authority figure made Leo's day.
Alright. We've got one new name from him. Someone else to be looking out for. Alright, this can only go well.
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always. You don't have to sit down this time, since you've already sat on that chair.
Open that door you wanted me to.
I'm very glad to hear that, Harry. One question. You didn't actually happen to stumble in and see what's inside the apartment, did you?
There is no way to sway this man in any direction. He is unsuggestible and unswayable. Just tell the truth.
Might as well. May have gone inside and seen a collection of racist mugs.
Just as I thought. Culturally antiquated mug collection. What a weasel. Pissing on Everart's Rainbow Coalition. Now let's get down to brass tacks. It's time for men like me and you to figure out who's killed who and why. Real police work is gonna start happening now. I promise you, Harry, this is gonna be good.
The lynching and the striker related. We can finally do some policing. Now I just have to actually do it well, and I don't have Kim around, so it's going to be a problem. Mug collection I mentioned was in the apartment. I found a similar mug in the trash with the hangman's clothes.
Racist mugs in the trash and in the apartment? You guys are just light years ahead of me. I have so much confidence in the ability of your organization. I'm relieved you're doing this and leaving me to do what I do best, helping people, with the power of politics.
I think this weasel has something to do with my case.
Oh, no. I don't cross paths like that. All I want is for you to succeed in your investigation. I would never complicate things for you.
This weasel might have cleaned up after the killers.
Believe me, Harry, he's a nobody. Just your basement variety nobody. Can't imagine him being connected to a high-caliber case like this. But he does live nearby. Maybe it's a pedantic weasel. Fascists are known to be neat freaks. I feel like a real detective right now, Harry. Am I getting this right?
He imitates bashing something with an imaginary baton.
That's not how you baton someone. The technique is way off. You strike with your whole body, not just the baton.
Put your weight behind it if you want to do real damage.
Oh, Harry, thanks for the tip. I'll leave doing the real damage to you. You are the real police officer, after all, not me.
Said the lynching and the strike are related. How?
By now, I'm sure you've figured out who the dead man was working for. The bad guys. Wild Pines. Sent to scare us. Another violent measure of the top hats against us flatcaps.
What do you mean?
Harry, this strike is the culmination of many, many mistakes made by the Wild Pines group. They tried to shut the strike down by sending in armed mercenaries.
Our victim?
A security contractor. Can you imagine that? Workers standing in peaceful protest, united in the spirit of fellowship, and they send hired killers to mow us down with machine gun fire? I'm talking beasts. Hardened killers from proxy wars in Yisut, Semenine, Saramaritsa, you name it, they've done it. Raping, killing, burning villages, killing little children for the Senorita Pineapple Company, Harry. Everything they did there, they brought over here. They want to turn Revachol into a third world slum. Honestly, the only thing they didn't do is kill the village elephant.
I like that Senorita Pineapple thing. Reference to Chiquita Banana and their less than stellar past. You have a village elephant?
No, Harry, the elephant is metaphorical, and so is the village. But the mercs and their brutality are very real.
Alright, the metaphorical elephant in the room has been noted. Definitely not bananas. Go on.
Now, I haven't personally witnessed the brutalities out there. I have the luxury of staying in my container, you see. If I need to go somewhere, they just move my container.
Did they move the container?
Yes. I'm an old man, Harry. My legs aren't what they used to be. They lift my office with that big crane. It's actually very fun. You should try it. But enough about me and my fun container. The killers the company hired, I think there were 3 of them, all hardened commando types. One of them got downright suicidal, getting drunk, violent, a little rapey. Even their own negotiator couldn't control him. That's your boy, the one who likes hanging out and trees.
How did he end up hanging from that tree?
Harry, what you need to realize is, we dock workers are not pushovers. We got grit, Harry. This whole neighborhood does. Push us hard enough and we push back. And when we do, we push to kill.
An entire neighborhood of killers.
The whole neighborhood is in on it?
Potentially, Harry, potentially. We got arm wrestling champions, rowing club people, ex-coal miners, tough guys, all ready to spring into action for their home base.
Who exactly did the pushing?
There's a militant wing inside the Union. A group of people whose duties don't involve manual labor, but peacekeeping in the neighborhood, making sure everything runs smoothly. They're like you. Idealistic people who want to make sure that bad things don't happen. And if they already have, well, punishment must follow.
Did they kill the hangman?
One day Titus Hardy, leader of this peacekeeping faction, comes up to me and says, "Boss, socialist democratic fervor drove us to take it upon ourselves to kill this beast that was burdening the land." He probably worded it differently, but that was the idea. Sure sounded to me like they killed him. I gave them 2 weeks paid leave and told them to lay low to avoid retaliation.
I remember Titus being brought up. I don't exactly remember where or what the context was, but I remember that name. You're not afraid that we're going to arrest them?
No, I'm not at all worried about that. These are not the kind of men who get arrested. They're Martinez boys, tough and gritty. I'd like to see the man who takes them in. Besides, I sent my lawyer girl to look after them.
Alright, well that's where she is.
If he's just boasting, then it sure doesn't feel like that to you. He's not worried.
Oh, we got a lot of questions now. It's a bullet in the hangman's head, but I mean, like, I think we've already got our answer there. I think we may know where the bullet came from.
So they shot him?
Yeah, someone shot him in the head before they hanged him.
How odd. I don't know what to say, Harry. They told me they hanged him. A hanged man is what I saw when I took a look into that yard.
Bullet comes from a gun. Write that down. Write that down.
What I do know is, the case is in safe hands. If anyone can get to the bottom of this shot and hanged man, it's my favorite policeman, Harry.
So why would they... I mean, if they shot him and killed him, why would they try and make it sound like they just hanged him? What would be the point of that? How do you know the mercenaries were hired by the shipping company?
How do I know? Let me tell you about these people. That's their MO. It's what they do. Last winter, some poor workers in Terminal E went on a little strike. The company sent in Sediment, a security contractor. The strike was over the workers' right to wear protective footwear, Harry. These guys turn up and start beating people. Tell you what, Harry, I wouldn't be surprised if we got the same mercenary company after a little rebranding. And I'm sure as hell not surprised to see an army of scabs under my gates.
Do you think the security contractor organized the scabs?
You said it, Harry. Hell, one of those guys looks big enough to take down that proverbial elephant. Boys like that don't just happen to show up during strikes.
I guess it could have been post-mortem. But I don't know, it was in the body in such a specific way.
He's not scared of them. If anything, he likes them being here.
What if he was just like that? What if he was just Von Karma? Always had a bullet in his throat instead of his shoulder. You mentioned a lawyer girl?
Oh, Liz is a bright one. I paid for that law degree myself, thinking it'll probably turn her all fancy. But hell, Harry, she came back a firebrand socialist. Sometimes she scares me with her zeal.
Tell me about Titus Hardy and his crew.
Oh, they are simply fine young men, all 7 of them. Exemplary union members, always working to advance their position in the local socialist democratic movement. Core members. Old Theo used to run them, but things really kicked into gear when Titus took the reins and named the group after himself. Gotta love his initiative.
More can you tell me? Who's second in command? Who's the most violent?
Harry, they're almost all of them great guys, born leaders. Whatever happened, I'm sure they only had the best interests of Revachol in mind. Work with them. Hell, interview them. But don't fight them. They really are just like you. Men who like beer, women, and some order on the streets.
Where can I find them?
You know what, Harry? I got a feeling they're gonna show up in full force tomorrow.
At least I'll have Kim for backup tomorrow, whatever happens. In the future, I could use your backing. Can you ask the Hardy Boys to cooperate?
But of course! It's the least I can do for my good friend Harry. I'll do it right after we've concluded this talk.
When you meet this Titus, tell him about this. See what he has to say.
Also, Harry, here's 5 real.
Why are you giving it to me?
I'm not giving you anything. I'm just holding out 5 real.
God damn it, I need the money.
Good boy. A real team player. Now, do you have any more questions?
Don't like taking money from this guy, but I need it. Alright, good talk.
Was it a good talk? I'm not sure we made much headway here. I was hoping we'd bust the case wide open. Heck, I even wanted to tell you what I really want to achieve with the strike.
I am not corrupt. I was not bribed. There just happened to be $5 just floating in the air in front of me, and I took it.
I don't know what happened, Harry. I wanted you to feel like Mr. Martinez. And of course, I also wanted you to find your gun. But it's like I can't completely trust you. Yet.
Yet?
Yes, Harry. It's like I can't fully trust you if you're not a man of the left. I want to, but I just can't.
He's been hurt too much in the past by men who aren't social democrats.
I'm a money engineer who just desperately needed the $5 he gave me. That's supposed to mean I'm more left than you are.
You're saying it, but I don't believe you. You know how it is, company snitches, agent provocateurs everywhere. I'm barricaded in this fortress of mine, and I need to get a message out. Will you help me?
Sure, what would this entail?
Once again, I require nothing unethical or illegal of you. You just need to get 2 little signatures on this piece of paper, and then mail it to my accountant in La Delta.
What are the signatures for?
I'm glad you asked, Harry. The Union is going to build a modern youth centre in Martinez. It will be righteous. We're gonna get those teenagers off drugs and on roller skates.
I think people would notice if I did that. But also, with the information he gave me that it can be moved, I was going to check the crane buttons again to see if that's an option. You think they would mind? I mean, the people who work under him seem to respect him, at least from what I have heard.
Roller skating, not drugs.
I think it would be a big deal.
You like this?
There's a nameless little street on the coast with some old houses around it. Most people have already signed. I just need 2 more signatures to get this mission off the ground, Harry.
Just go on my Elysium until I become a sorry cop. Where's this place exactly?
On the coast, Harry, across the canal. There's a cul-de-sac there, a little village.
I can't get there.
A gloomy place. You'll find it. I trust your detective skills, Harry.
I was labeled as a sorry cop, but in my heart, I know I'm a superstar cop. Actually, in my heart, I know I'm a hobo cop.
Water drips from the eaves. A woman looks at her freshly tarred skiff. There's a pair of cavalry boots under the fish in the box, and the wind howls like a vicious spirit.
Yeah, Wednesday is when that's supposed to open up, so I think that's tomorrow. Also, I've been trying to do my best to pay attention to whatever Shivers is saying. I feel like it's always going to be relevant somehow. Even if it does just seem really tangential. What will happen to the current occupants?
They are just going to have to deal with the construction noise for 6 months, and then they'll be living like kings. right next to a fancy new youth centre designed by the best architects from Stella Marie.
Alright, fine. If I happen to be there, I can ask them.
You bring joy to my heart, Harry. Such a pleasure to be working with you. Here, you need to get signatures from Isabel Sadie and Lillian Carter. The cul-de-sac is right past the pawn shop and across the canal. I hear there is some trouble with the waterlock, but they should fix it by Wednesday morning. Once you have the signatures, mail this to 13022 La Rocca in La Delta. Then I'll know you're a solid socialist.
Alright, let's see if there's anything I
certainly,
missed.
Harry. By all means, Harry. Let's hear it, Harry.
What's my full name?
It's Harry. Harry Dubois.
You feel like a Dubois, but you don't feel like a Harry. Strange.
Interesting.
You don't feel like any of these things. You know what your name is. You have a sophisticated name, like that of a count, or a beautiful man.
Yes. Yes. I am Tequila Sunset.
Excellent. I know you RCM people like your call signs. Harry Tequila Sunset Dubois. I can see that. But to me, and the Census Bureau, you will always be Little Harry. Of course, Harry, of course. Let's not linger on personal details and amnesia. You wanted something from me.
It's a weird question to ask at this point, but aren't you going to ask how I got in?
Am I going to ask? Hell, Harry. You spin-kicked my strongest man in the face.
Hell yeah, I did.
I saw it from my window. Would you ask a man like that how he got into your container yard?
I understand. I am a terrifying death machine.
Don't worry, Harry. Between you and me, I'm not a huge fan of his race thing, but the Union did not get where we are today by frowning on eccentricity. Anyway, I assure you, I am a very well-informed man. Information reaches me before I even get the chance to request it. See you soon, Debardeur. Just kidding, but not too much.
Alright, so we're making some progress now. Let's see what we have. Well, that's a skill point. I don't necessarily want to put that into anything at the moment. White envelope with the stamp attached to the upper right corner, handed to you by Everett Clare. Inside are some legal documents with 2 names printed on them. Isabel Sadie and Lillian Carter. Both signatures are required. Yes. You now see my stats. I am... How did I get to 10 communist? When did that happen? It was not that high before. Well, okay. But I'm 5 in Superstar Cop. I'm no longer a sorry cop. Superstar Communist. Hell yeah. I'll take it. I get signatures. It's also across the canal. I could find smokes. Don't know how to find my badge. I guess I could talk to Joyce. See if I can get anywhere else with that. Because she definitely did have some stuff she just wasn't telling us. Try and find some secret passages. That's kind of what I was hoping. Is that maybe I could get a little more into that since Kim isn't here. We don't have to worry about protocol as much. We can just do whatever we want. That might be the next thing I need to do. really isn't too much else I can do until Kim gets back and the canal opens up. There's still a ton of time before I can actually go to the next day. Alright, I gotta
A
know.
rusted control panel with several knobs. The words Marsh and Arrête.
Okay. Yeah, I sent him to take the body for processing. I really shouldn't have. I think I just kind of wanted to get the body out of here. I got frustrated because I kept making so many failed checks with the body that, like, the second I was done with it, I was like, just get it out of here. I don't want to see it. I should have kept it around one more day to try and get the boots. These stairs. There we go. Alright, anything new with you?
Went native on the chief, huh? Those ballerina antics were reckless. Should have just punched him in the throat again.
Wrong. You did the right thing with Measurehead. The ballerina antics won you the fight.
Let's talk about our right to work.
I don't know. I don't think I can trust someone who told me that my spin kick was unnecessary and uncool. I don't think I can work with you. Oh no, they're much hunkier than you. You shouldn't feel threatened by handsome men. Don't be silly. Want to know something really funny about the spin kick? Sure. But I mean, I feel like the spin kick just in itself is pretty funny. If you did the basic punch, it wouldn't have worked. Really? I just picked it because I wanted to be flashy. But good to know that is the canon correct option. A drunken master style of fighting, I guess.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Need someone to give me a lowdown on this reality we're in.
This reality?
The aim is to gain a deeper understanding.
By learning about the world, I hope to learn more about myself.
A sort of spiritual quest. Something of ancient Ilmaran origin.
Yes, a spirit quest sounds like the thing I'm on.
Well then, reality is a strange place. Getting stranger by the day. Ask away, officer. I'll help however I can.
Alright, we're in. I know these all look good, but begin with the first, okay?
Are you sure? Encyclopedia, you failed me before. You've told me irrelevant information and wrong information. Alright, sure.
We're in Martinez, baby.
Baby?
A casual term of endearment popular among the 50-plus crowd. It's a disco holdover, pay it no heed.
I'm a disco holdover myself.
Aren't we all?
What is Martinez?
Martinez is a district of Revachol. A very small district tucked away near the industrial harbour. North of the 881 and Jamrock. You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten, even. Shelled to smithereens during the Revolution. It has its charms, just not this time of year.
Mention a sea. What sea is this?
It's not really a sea, it's the Bay of Revachol. And the bay feeds into the ocean.
We're near the ocean?
Yes. We're on an island in an ocean. The world's largest body of water. The Insulindic.
Vast, lukewarm, and unknowable, flowing in and out of sight.
What's the name of this island?
Caillou, as you already know. Imagine a pebble. A smoothed-over pebble amidst a great blue sea. Misshapen, cracked. The cracks are the River Esperance. We're in the delta of this river, on the 6th branch. The Martinez distributary.
It is clear this pebble is of enormous value to her.
Tell me about Martinez.
I'm not a good ambassador. I've only been here once before, as a teenager. Not a lot has changed. There are ruins, a terminal, fishing boats, reeds, boys with boxy shoulders. As I told you, Martinez used to be a province, a workers' resort before the city swallowed it and the artillery did its part. Now the reeds are the real star of the show here. The further down the coast, the wilder it gets.
What's Revachol?
Revachol?
We're getting a history lesson.
Rip the great kind.
As if it's self-explanatory, beyond patriotism, a fact.
What makes Revachol great?
History detective. They built this city to resolve history. Our part in it, at least. Our centuries.
When was Revachol built?
In the DeLorean century. 380 years ago.
And who built it?
The nations of the Occident, or migrant workers from Seminine and Ile-Marat, depending on your creed.
And why will it resolve history?
They say it's where the terrible questions of our time will be answered. The tensions are highest, the fault lines deepest. By that I mean conflicts. Ideological conflicts. The stuff of men.
Why here?
We are standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island able to sustain up to 200 million people. In the middle of the Insulindic Ocean, the world's connective tissue. It's where the money is.
We're pretty much the center of the world.
Oh, we're quite a way off. About...
Points across the water where the skyscrapers
A
rise.
collection of tall ghosts behind the water vapor, light reflecting off their glass windows.
22 kilometers from the center of the world. That soldering iron is the bank of the world building. The bottom floors are Insiacom. Coalition government, Insulindian Mission Command.
Silence. She lowers her hand. The water, the light. It's as though you're seeing it for the first time. There is no recognition, only the immensity of the sea and the cold radiating from it.
Observe the large body of water swelling, cold.
She observes your eyes scanning the horizon. Then
Ooh, new
breaks
thought
the
game.
silence, slowly. This is one thought you need to complete. Where are you?
Was there something else you wanted to know? I remember something about a lowdown.
I haven't done well with 50-50s so far. Wait.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that.
I think I have something that'll make that stat better. Do I have anything that's... Well, I'm wearing one of them. And that's just the same thing, yeah. Okay, yeah, it's as good as it can get.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? More lessons in basic reality?
6
Nice.
kilometers southwest, in the Valley of Dogs, Junior Officer Chad Tilbrook takes aim at a rabid black dog licking its wounds in the grass. To his left, his partner, Emil Mullins, whispers, "You heard what happened to Tequila Sunset in Martinez?" "Yes, he lost his mind," Tilbrook answers, fingers on the trigger. "Don't worry, Emil." He pulls it out slowly. Slowly now. He'll find it again. We always do.
What am I?
You? You're an officer of the RCM.
Revachol Citizens Militia?
Preciso mundo.
Good. And what is the Revachol Citizens Militia?
Nothing more nor less than the de facto law enforcement body of post-revolutionary Revachol, Detective.
You said de facto?
Yes, that means not de jure. The RCM acts in what is poetically called the twilight of international law, both at the behest of the coalition government and to its chagrin.
What do you mean?
The RCM's responsibilities are defined by the Emergency, Wayfarer and Aliments Acts, 3 pieces of legislation keeping the city in a, let's be honest, laissez-faire stasis to the benefit of foreign capital.
I'm basically a lackey of capital?
There's nothing basic about your role, Detective. It's true that the RCM keeps everything the way our seemingly permanent provisional rulers like it. Yet, on the other hand, I know these people. I deal with them daily. Let me tell you, dear, they are not fans of you. The post-revolutionary decade was a disaster for the coalition government. Revachol in the 20s was hell, especially on the west side of the river. Gang warfare, a botched privatization scheme, a nuclear pile meltdown. They called it the International Zone because no nation wanted to claim responsibility. The RCM restored peace where the coalition failed. A true blue citizens' initiative. They will never forgive you. So permit me to conclude with this. Who you are to me is the police, the only legitimate law enforcement authority in Revachol.
Well, thank you.
And if those authorities drink so hard they need help recalling the basic terms of reality, well, I'm here to help.
Alright, the 3% is not happening. What is this? Just gestures at
A
everything.
bird? A sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar regions?
Keep guessing.
Some sort of krill hunter? No, wait. You're an ancient ruin. A symbol of hubris and decay. Half submerged in some salty sea.
Wait, really?
Of course you're not, my dear. I'm just terrible at guessing games.
I meant, what is this place here?
Ah. This is the pier of Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A, where the tenants have been kind enough to rent me a slot, or 2. A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old buildings are called tenements, you see. And new buildings, bâtiments. After les bâtiments nouveaux. But 33A and 33B are not nouveaux. They're old. This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall. A real high-rise by the standards of the last century. Built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay in the Delta. That was before the war, of course.
Who lived in them?
Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate, before the cannons lopped 4 or 5 stories off. Splat, splat.
From a dilapidated balcony, a young girl in odd clothes, I'm sorry, I just punched my mic, gives Joyce the evil eye, a red paintbrush held to her throat.
You could be wrong, but from here it appears as if she's running the brush across her throat in a soaring motion.
Wonderful.
Went to Sydney the Skull.
The girl in the old lady rags. Looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a teen infraculture.
Infraculture?
Yes. You and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd. The music on the radio, the food in the chain restaurant, those are all too popular for the girl in the old lady rags. She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It is an illusion, I'm afraid. There is no refuge from the supraculture.
I understand everything. Make it more complicated somehow.
I can't. That's how simple it is. One may dye their hair green and wear their grandma's coat all they want. Capital has the ability to subsume all critiques into itself. Even those who would critique capital end up reinforcing it instead. All right. What next?
I think that's good
Glad
for
to have been
now.
of assistance.
Let's...
A little that I know. Anything else?
What about this drug trafficking?
It's quite straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the Samar and Isola into Revachol with the Union's blessing. Wild Pines has suspected it for years.
What kind of ingredients are we talking about here?
Meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL, and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say what you can't make from the stuff.
You want us to investigate?
Yes, but you won't get anything out of Evrat and the Dock Workers Union. Still, every chain has its weak link.
Am I got any bolt gutters for this?
Unlikely, officer. I'm
Aw,
talking about
shame.
the
I have
lorries.
them. I want to use them.
Once the ingredients reach Jamrock, they're distributed to a network of local manufacturers, well beyond our grasp. But in transit, they may be vulnerable. Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now. Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One of them might be waiting for a crucial shipment.
Her irises are light green, like the river Esperance in bright daylight, upstream where it's clearer.
I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I will share company secrets with you.
What proof do you have that the Union is involved?
How do you think they're financing this strike? There are thousands of unpaid dock workers going strong for the 4th month straight. It's true they drove a number of the local businesses to bankruptcy preparing for this venture. I've talked to a few business owners. It was quite the shakedown. But the contents of a few cash registers cannot provide for 2,000 men.
Do you think the strike is being funded with sourced ingredients for drugs?
Precisely. Smuggled out of that very gate at night, most likely. Then loaded onto lorries and driven to Jamrock. You simply need to find one driver who will open up to you.
That should be easy. There's like only 2 or 3 drivers that'll talk to me. Not too many to interrogate.
It sounds like she tried looking into it herself, but she's clearly not the type your typical lorryman would confide in.
Why didn't you come to the RCM earlier?
We did. On more than one occasion. Apparently, there's some sort of inter-precinct disagreement about whose jurisdiction this area falls under.
All this talk about jurisdiction is really cramping my style. I just want to get to the bottom of this.
Well, here's your chance.
Alright, sure.
Yes?
I'll look into it.
Excellent. According to my reports, there are at least 3 lorry drivers lingering near the roundabout. Hopefully one of them will know something.
Oh, like I said, about 3 of
It
them.
may come to nothing, or it may just blow the case wide open. I suspect the traffic jam won't disperse for a few more days. You should have the time you need. In the meantime, let me know if there's any other way I may be of assistance.
I'm just going to run through some of these dialogue trees, see if anything has changed.
She's not even asking you anything. It's so easy to just say.
He asked me to open a door.
A referral, you mean? I take it this was for someone in the RCM. Don't answer that.
No, I mean like a real door. Someone's house.
Oh my. A real door.
Had to be done. I got information. It was useful to the case.
That's good to hear, Detective. Police work is rarely pretty, but it sounds like you did what you had to do.
Everett says the Wild Pine sent mercenaries after the Union and now one's dead.
The company did not send mercenaries after the Union. I told you in great detail about the mistakes my side made. And of course, I accept them completely. I just hope you don't share Everart's view on things. After all, as he said, one's dead now. The Pine certainly hasn't killed any of theirs.
Look who's defensive suddenly.
Didn't seem at all worried about the whole conflict that's developing.
I wouldn't have taken Everart for a saber rattler. Was he surrounded by Union men he wanted to impress?
We were alone, and he seems very sure of his ability to keep things in control.
Or he wants you and me to believe he's calm and in control. He's a politician.
Maybe he was manipulating me.
I'll think it over, Detective. Thank you for relaying this information to me.
This gave her pause. She's pensive, suddenly. Hard to say about what.
What you've said is quite enough. You've given me a lot to consider, and may have helped me prevent this conflict from escalating.
Hear that, hero? Feels good, doesn't it? You should relay confidential information more often.
He asked me to deliver an envelope.
Sounds like he has you running errands, Detective. A well-established dominance ritual. Where did he
Well,
have
to
you
be fair, I
deliver
got
it?
nothing else to do till my partner gets here. Nameless settlement down by the coast.
Ah, yes. I've been meaning to go there.
With longing. Clear and simple longing. Strange. Why does she want to go there?
Quite fond of this village, aren't you?
I should be. In my youth, I had a brief dalliance here in Martinez. He was an older man with impossibly broad shoulders. He's probably dead by now. Even his shack is long gone. Not that it matters. These buildings are all carbon copies of one another.
Been to Martinez before?
Yes, I was slumming it with some girlfriends of mine. We had boats and... Don't hold it against me. My paramour certainly did not.
Sounds like you missed those times.
Not overly so. It's not like this was the only place we visited. Me and my girlfriends from Azon with our shiny boats. Like reavers, we told ourselves we were the worst thing to happen to the coast since the Coalition landed in '08. Imagine.
She's sentimental, all right. You don't know enough about her to find out why exactly. She will keep her secrets for now.
He wants to build a youth center here for the children of Martinez.
A youth centre with Edgar Clare's statue on top of it. Go ahead. Help him. Make it so. I have no power to stop him.
You're sad you can't buy the place?
Yes. I'm sad I will never have the time, Detective. I've always wanted a dilapidating fishing village, full of ghosts and ancient memories. Has this errand yielded you any information? Of course, Detective. You can always
Anything
drop by
else?
later, should something come up. Now, what else can I do for you?
I know she's probably not going to tell me anything until I figured out the drug trafficking thing. But maybe.
That's the man who was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question.
How's he looking at the photo tied to the
Better
lynching?
not tie the fourth day to the Bat's Day on this. I hope there is something else I can help you with.
She wants to answer the question. Protocol keeps her from it.
Okay, I'm not going to be getting anything new. Alright, time to investigate. I do want to figure out how to get up there. Can I talk to you from down here?
The streets will flow red once more. A great torrent rushing down Rue de Esperance. You wait and see.
You seem pretty cool. Who are you?
I'm Cindy the fucking Skull. What else do you want to know? Date of birth, blood type, the last time I was tested for Hep C.
Sure, let's start with blood type and go from there.
Will you look at that? He's not just a pig, he's also a dog. Ain't got no bones for you, doggy.
She's grown frustrated with her work and welcomes the opportunity to challenge authority in other ways.
Keep looking off to the side. What are you looking at?
The lieutenant is desperately searching for another handkerchief. Hatred, disgust. It's difficult to tell which of the two is more present in her girlish features. The woman on the boat does not notice her staring.
That is on her. Someone's got to keep an eye on her.
You mean Joyce?
On a first name basis with her, are we? Piggy's moving up in the world.
Why all the negativity?
Have
Why
you
can't we
got
just
a
be
crush
friends?
on her, aching for an opportunity to defend her honor?
What are you doing to the wall?
Can't you tell? I'm painting a beautiful mural, an aereo graffitio visible from low orbit. I haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for the right words.
You don't know what to write?
Have you ever tried your hand at graffitio? When faced with a blank wall, most people write unimaginative stuff, like pigs go home, and Mona was here. We rarely see pigs round here, though. Just union cards. And my name's not Mona, so...
She wants it to be something true and total.
I have an opinion on this. Want to hear it?
Yeah?
Keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks. I'm sure the inspiration will come to me now that I have an official RCM stamp of approval.
You've lessened her desire to deface the building.
You know anything about the murder?
I ain't no snitch, Pigstein. Go forth and forage in someone else's shit. No shortage of squealers in these parts.
Also, I got an achievement saying that I'm becoming an art cop, which I didn't know was a thing. I'll accept it. You want to talk about the murder, but maybe you can tell me something about the murder victim's missing armor.
What do I care about some fucking tin eggshells?
Isn't armor art? Art for the body?
Ugh, alright. Sad piggy. I'll give you this one. I saw a little girl in the fishing village running around with military-grade handwear. Looked cute as hell.
Interesting.
If you haven't been there, the village is a shithole down the coast from the main plaza. Have a good time.
I got it.
Piggy, I have no idea why I just told you that. You look like a shaggy dog left in the rain for too long. I have a weakness for animals. Watch your back, Ungulate. You've got eyes on you.
Alright, now we'll go investigate. Okay, find gloves. I could get a new thing. No temporary bonus. Revachol Special Administrative Region. Lakayu, the Insulindian Ocean, Coalition Government, Insulindian Mission Command. Name after name, and none of them is familiar. They seem real, but something is wrong. You feel like a kid looking at stickers on the fridge. Truven, the Apricot Company, World Games 34. You can almost see your hand reaching out for them. Scratch at the corners, see if they peel loose. Feels like the most important of all the thoughts, one you truly must complete. I kind of want to keep one of my skill points in case I need it for the investigation. I feel like I should also start working on that. I'll keep it for now. Investigation goes well, then I'll open that up. Hold on. Something new is down there. And here. What's this?
This coin-operated viewer is facing southwest. Its coin slot is full of fossilized bubblegum, rendering the machine permanently inaccessible.
Had it.
The metal feels cold and wet under your palm. It looks unhygienic. A thick layer of graffito covers the lenses. You spell out the word Onug, written on the other side, with N and C scribbled backwards. Under the graffito, a sea of blues and greys appear. Behind the water lies a coast, studded with concrete and reeds. On it, a church on stilts, lanky weather-worn wooden planks, an X-shaped cross topping its tower. The church looks old and weather-worn. There are no lights in the windows. Around the large wooden building, you see chunks of sea ice gathered on the beach, and a small tent set up on the ice.
Alright, pat it one more time for good luck.
Cold and wet.
What's this? Yellow plastic bag. Neat. The tool. Plastic bag has Frit written on it in a dynamic, forceful manner that implies great prices. As you crack it open, a malty gust of air flies in your face. Smells of yeast and beer. Perfect place for terror. Or equip bag. I really am becoming Hobo Cop. I feel like I'm embodying it pretty well. In the trash.
There. Working class drunk. You know what this means, right?
Case solved.
Cracked it. All in a good day's work.
Wait, what did I crack exactly?
What do you mean, what did I crack? Look at how working class that drunk is.
It's the missing husband.
Yes, and you found him. Now go and tell the working class woman. Protect and serve, recruit.
Going
There's
in.
no need for champagne when there's honor, recruit. Go and tell the working class woman what you found, right now.
He needs to know. Protect and serve, madam. I found your husband.
God damn it, I already told you. My husband isn't missing.
You said you didn't know where he was.
And I specifically added that I didn't need to know where he was.
Well, I found him.
Very well then. Where is he?
Went to the working class drunk down near the sea.
Excuse me? I don't follow.
There's something else hiding in her voice, though. A trace of worry.
Found a working class drunk and I thought he might be yours.
Right, 'cause working class women come with alcoholic husbands. You know what?
I'm not saying what.
You were right. I do have an alcoholic husband. Although not that one.
Ha! Blam! Knew it.
So is he missing as well?
No, he's not. Or maybe he is, I don't know. He's probably in the park, or in Shamrock somewhere. Drinking with his friends. I haven't seen him for... Well, to hell with him.
She's completely forgotten about her books, staring blank into the distance instead.
There. She's worried now.
I'm going to find him and bring him back. Promise.
She sighs, but you can detect a slight hint of gratitude and relief from her face.
All right, go ahead. Do you have any questions?
What does your husband look like?
Honestly, not that different from you.
Late stage alcoholic. And we're dealing with a cop. He's disco.
Oh, thank God, no. It hasn't come down to this yet.
Why did you say that your husband resembles me then?
Well, he's slightly chubby.
Wait, did she just imply that you're fat? You're not fat. The body type she's referring to is called a Franco-Nigerian hard body.
We finally did it. We finally discoed the Elysium. Not chubby, and neither is your husband. What you meant to say is that we both share a hard body.
You both share what?
Hard body.
I'm not sure about the rest, but softly round sounds about right. He's not in great shape. What else? He was wearing a dark brown leather jacket with a bright blue inner lining. The lining is hand-sewn. I made it myself. It's his cool jacket. God knows it's too cold to run around in this, but he refuses to change. I even tried throwing it away once, but he just dug it out of the bin. Can you believe it?
Well, if the jacket really is that cool, then I can totally understand.
Well, what can you do? I hope that at least that extra lining helps him keep warm at night. I wouldn't like him to catch cold.
She's thinking about him out in the cold, in some park, or on the coast. And it's making her more and more worried.
When did you last see him?
Yesterday morning, he went to the library. He went to retrieve my book, and he promised he'd walk straight back home. Because we talked about this. We talked about not wandering off again. I don't know what to do. I honestly don't know what to do with his addiction. Just makes me feel weak.
She turns away from you in an attempt to recover.
I can't believe we willed this case into being. That it's an actual thing.
So you are going to look for him?
She genuinely wants you to now. Don't make her ask.
Yes, I will bring him back home to you.
Thank you. Please do. Even though I'm sure he will return home by himself. I'm still sure of that.
Alright, that's priority number 1. Wait, what changed here? Contains 1 bottle. Oh, we're actually picking up bottles. You weren't joking. Well, we're getting those bottles. Hobo cop to the rescue. Oh, wait, no, not that. Rent won't pay itself. Let's see. I have seen tons of bottles scattered around, so I know they're everywhere. Okay, nothing else here. Were there? I guess there would have been. Alright, well, no, I'm not making picking up bottles my #1 priority. Ignore the fact that I stopped everything to pick up a bunch of bottles. If I find them as I'm going, I'll get them. But I'm not going to go out of my way. Hold on, there's bottles there. Wait a minute. Cleaning the place up. Alright, you.
Still here. Stuck in this damn jam, my man. What's up?
This empathy. Tell me more about this strike.
It's like whatever's going on over at the docks. Workers got a blockade set up, making demands, no way in or out.
What's the union demanding?
Some pretty wild stuff, I hear. Like a giant new power
I thought I already
crane
talked to
in
this
half
guy
the
about
company.
this.
I forget what exactly. Good on them, I guess.
I could have sworn I did.
I've heard talk there's a company rep in town too. Like a strike negotiator type. They know what's up. They want to keep that money flowing in, my man. Ka-ching. Anything else? Yeah, this ain't really my area of expertise. I just do my job and get paid. I have things to do and places to be. All of us do. Us lorry drivers. Camionneurs. You still hang around here waiting for this mess to end. Most have scurried off somewhere to get drunk or high. Or laid. Not that I blame them, really. Not my thing. Chasing transient pleasures is a drag these days. I prefer the examined life now. Thinking, reflecting, observing.
What's better than chasing transient pleasures? The more transient, the better. When one's ended, you can get onto the next one.
Anyways, you look like a guy who knows about drugs.
Ah, man. Me and narcotics go way back. Had some good times surfing the psychic waves of my own consciousness, you know? But those days are behind me. There are other addictions in my life now. Why the inquiry, my man?
Just be straight with him.
Trying to figure out who's smuggling drugs out of Terminal B. I'm gonna trust you, suggestion. I'm gonna trust you.
Not me, man. No way. I don't need any trouble. Shit's bad enough anyway. This jam's got folks up in arms, and I'm afraid it's headed toward a conflagration.
Who do you think could be conducting the drug trade then?
Look, man, I try to stay away from the criminal underbelly of Revachol. I'm a guest here. You really need to find another man to probe with those questions.
Fair change.
Huh? Oh. No, I ain't got any money. They don't want to pay for unfinished work.
They who?
The bosses, man. Yeah, it sure ain't good for me. Or you. I'd spare a coin or two for a city cop down in his luck. If I had, say, 4 myself.
Got any smokes?
Nope. Don't smoke. Some of the other drivers do, though. There's still a few around, waiting for the jam to disperse.
Yup. Nothing wrong with that statement. Your senses have nothing to add. You'll have to ask around elsewhere.
You could also check the kiosk down the street. Frit. With 3 T's.
He literally
Shaw's
does have a
weird.
cigarette. But we didn't realize. Perception bad. Can't use eyes. Anyways, from what I took from that is, if anyone gives us a cigarette, they're the one we're looking for. You got scared last time I came around. What's your deal?
Looking for something, Rond? Come to tell me to fuck off again?
Oh, this mug in the trash. Yours?
Oh man, that's great. Look at that guy go. Haven't seen anything that funny in a while.
Is it yours?
God damn. Thanks for that, but no, it's not mine.
Got a smoke?
No.
He's got a smoke right there, in his fucking hand. Snatch that shit out of his fat fingers. You need it after listening to his garbage.
I want to do this one, but also I don't want to lose morale. Gonna need the one you're smoking.
Can't have it.
It's evidence.
Evidence of what? I haven't done anything.
Why I oughta.
Hot what, officer?
I oughta shit.
Sorry I couldn't be of any help.
Anyways, are you involved in the drug trade?
Drugs? They're shit, man. I don't let anything pollute my body.
Why not? It's great. You should try it.
You know where that shit comes from? Sarah Miriza, Safre, Ilmara. They take the money from our local junkies here and then use it to outcompete us in the manufacturing sector. They know they can't beat us in a fair fight, so they have to get us to weaken ourselves somehow. It's racial sabotage, racial economic sabotage. I don't go for that foreign piss. Proper booze is made in Mundi. Or sometimes, I like a dram of that Yugograd vodka. Koikos and worse much, but they do no booze.
So you're not smuggling drugs? Are you sure?
Not in, not out. I'll never betray the purity of my tribe.
You don't know anything about it?
I don't know shit. And if I did, I wouldn't tell you. What do you think? I can't leave the lorry unguarded. Stuff's been getting looted lately. It's those little kips sneaking around at night. If they touch my stuff, the bosses will be on my ass like ass cancer.
There was a bunch of spilled boxes in the back of a big lorry nearby.
I did see one lorry with the trailer doors open on my way here. You know what happened?
Yeah, I knew that guy. He was an honest driver who loved this country. We were having a good debate about genetics at the Wheeling in Rags when some kip boys smashed his lock and took damn near everything. Lost his fucking job over it. Since he left, I haven't had anyone to talk to.
Anyway.
It's a fucking travesty is what it is.
Alright, so you're no help. We got one more guy. Wait, is that... Oh, bottle. Trash spotted. Sorry, just cleaning up your trash here real quick. I hope you don't mind. Keeping the streets clean. Speaking of keeping the streets clean, know anything about drugs?
Everything's still cool here, officer.
Wait, I can't ask you about drugs? Are you not the other driver? Who was the other one then? Not you.
The woman still has her eyes fixed on the photograph in her hands, in the background.
Where am I? Who are you?
Like a magician recalling a subject from hypnosis, you've jolted her back to reality.
The smile on her face has disappeared, replaced by the wary aspect of a cornered beast.
You alright, ma'am? You were out.
Never mind. I remember now. I'm still stuck in that traffic jam in the 50s.
So bad about the 50s.
The men have these small jewels and everything is made out of plastic. Why do you need plastic when you can make the world out of amber?
Where else would you be then?
Back in Mecca, during the time of the revolution. The sidewalks and cafes are filled with the young people.
I was on my way to see a new Boyadero picture starring Gabriel Buenguerro. Until you came along, that is.
Sorry to interrupt your dreaming.
I wasn't dreaming. I was there, Loman. It was early spring, and the mine behind the Black Sun had just come out. The posters were 20 meters tall. Everything was golden. While you, people, were tearing each other apart over your petty little revolution, in Meth, it was a golden age. This is Gabriel Buenguerro.
Shows you a photograph in the lavish amber frame.
A strikingly handsome man looks straight at you, his head crowned with a wide brim hat. His hair is dark as an oil slick, and his jaw the most perfectly chiseled thing you've ever seen. This man's got a hold over her, even 50 years later. You can feel it.
He was the biggest star of his day. Girls used to faint in the aisles of cinema whenever he came on the screen. And schoolboys used to memorize all of his lines.
I take it you were in Mesk when you were young?
Someone was.
Someone? Are these not your memories?
They are someone's memories, boy. What difference does it make if it's me or not? They're beautiful. That is all that matters. Beautiful and true. And they will win. They're coming for this, you know? All of this.
She seems to derive some bitter pleasure from this strange thought, as if the past will one day wipe the present away, like a tidal wave approaching.
Alright, I've got questions. Police questions.
Why not, Harife? It's not like I have anything better to do in this hellhole.
What are you hauling?
Diamonds.
Diamonds?
Of course not. But wouldn't it be marvelous if I was?
Okay, but what are you really hauling?
Whatever stupid things they put in the lorry, I imagine.
So you don't know what you're hauling in your own lorry?
I quit concerning myself with that a long time ago. Besides, I don't drive the lorry for the cargo, if you know what I mean.
She says that as if something narcotic is the real reason.
You get high off driving a lorry?
Oh, it's so much more than a high where I go, Harife. It's low. I go to the bottom.
Yeah, it's definitely some kick. Some terrible kick in the dark. A sleep kick. Perhaps you can find out later.
Bit irrelevant, but what if the cargo is contraband?
Then it's
Just
contraband,
asking.
Loman. What? Do you want to take an old woman in? Be my guest. Lock me away like Bad Hand Hermenegildo.
Seem like a woman who knows a thing or two about drugs.
What do I need drugs for, Loman? What I see, what I feel. The great adversary, no drugs can compare.
The adversary?
Yes. There is a protagonista and an adversario. I am on the side of the adversary. There's no coming back from that hole.
I don't like the sound of any of that. Sounds like a horrible drug. The worst one of them all.
Not really what I was getting at.
Then what were you getting at?
What is it that you're hauling?
Your man, Loman. What of it?
Are you smuggling drugs through Terminal B?
Maybe. Probably not. Makes no difference to me either way.
Said earlier you don't know what cargo you're hauling. Could it be drugs?
Just this month, I made half a dozen trips from Saramiriza to Grat, on the U41A. What do you think they take from Saramiriza to Grat, Loman?
Drugs?
No, Loman. Diamonds.
Damn this. Make her answer.
Can we just like look at the cargo and see? Alright, yeah, as soon as I finish this this dialogue tree, I'll save and we can move over to that.
I would never make fun of a real Loman, Herife. Diamonds are good for you, Loman. You should try them sometime. Make yourself pretty like Eva de Zoras.
Got to guess, who do you think is smuggling drugs around here?
He's the skinny man who thinks he's a poet. Never trust a poet. Also, he's the only one I can see from here.
That's correct. There is no visibility of any of the others.
Where do you want me to go? This isn't so bad. I can listen to music, or the seagulls. Look at all the colors and the futures of this world. It's a good palate cleanser, this jamboree. Or I can just relax and let my mind carry me back where it will, to the Great Plains. Yes, go. Enough jamboree. I need to get back to Mesky.
Alright, so I can't just check what she's hauling. That's a shame. I guess I'll just need to ask around a little bit more. Wait, you? No. Alright, someone's gotta know about it, but that'll have to wait till next time. Alright, I'm gonna take a quick BRB. Maybe like around 10 minutes or so as I get everything set up. And I'm gonna switch over to Ace Attorney. I think me and Dak are gonna finish that game tonight. So see you in a minute.